The exploration music stopped, so I know there's an enemy nearby. The emblem of his order that Garry wears around his neck. It vibrated, so I knew. That's oh, balls. Okay, well, we're not hidden. Yeah. Yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah.
Give me your gallbladder. That's another one. This is a bunch of imps in a house. It's like an imp house of some sort. And my sword's about broken. I wonder... Garry, come on. Come on. Can Garry muster up enough blacksmith skill? Fuck. Alright. Oh, sorry. Swear word. My bad. Should make a swear jar. Every time I swear, I have to donate $1 to Trump's campaign. I'd really be punishing myself. Oh, I shouldn't make things political here. There's a lot of things I would like to talk about, you know, if people are interested in listening to stuff that falls out of my face. But political stuff's not really one of them. I just don't want to be that guy, you know? I don't even like talking about politics too much with friends. Like, it's one thing if you're in a Slack channel specifically for talking about politics, that's fine. But I feel like outside of that, there's not really a lot of context where you need to agitate your friends or, you know, sacrifice relationships with people. Like, half my family became alienated from me because I'm staunchly left and they're on the right. So anyway, I should just stop talking about that. Alright, well, that was short. We are really close to Coral. I might just keep this going. Yeah, there's another set of ruins right over there, so yeah. Try to redeem this shit show so far. Damn it. Another $1 to Trump. I did it again. I'm gonna wind up in some kind of Floyd hole. This one might... Yeah, this is just a well. I don't know if there's a disadvantage to using these. I imagine they probably recharge, but maybe I'll absorb it and get some mana. Yeah, holy crap, that filled my mana. Okay, Ayleid Wells, our Atronach friend. I'll leave that wolf alone. Make sure I'm not on the wrong... Okay, yeah, that was just a little slight detour. Just a tiny one. It's fine. Alright. And that's the north end of the Imperial City, I think. Maybe it's the... Yeah, it's the west end. I'm not smart. Oh wait, that's the one that it matters, though. That's... So the stables are over there when I want to get a horse. Although I think Joffrey might give me one for free. Let's see. Deer. Deer, deer, deer. Smells like there's gonna be something afoot. Bandits. Maybe not. Maybe it's the wolf just keeps it fed and camped to itself. You don't know. You don't know. How are you gonna act like you know? A battered stool. A tent. These are all things a wolf could get some enjoyment out of, I suppose. There's gotta be. My treasure senses are tingling. Probably not this way. This is the way. This is the way dummies go. That's dumb. Yeah, that's. There's nothing in there. But the treasure senses are going off. Not that Gary's a treasure hunter. He's in it for bettering the world by getting rid of non-humans, since they're all monsters. Yep, and Garry is a monster hunter as his night job. But by day, Garry is a witcher. Garry chooses things. He chooses which one of things from a group. That's easy. Okay, they're both easy. We can do this, right? Right? Well, easy. Low effort gets low rewards. Although, God, picking these things always feels like a Herculean effort. Although I seem to be doing okay. I won't say I'm doing good, because I don't want to tempt, you know, the universe to slap me into the dirt. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. Yeah, gonna do a little quick save. Fundamentals of alchemy. Maybe she'll have some stuff I can use. Dog, for real. Oh. Wow. Alright. Well, I gotta try to avoid gaining skills. Gaining skill points before I sleep. Maybe I should go out there and use that bed. I think that's what I'm gonna do. It might sound meta-gamey, but honestly, something like that, I feel really shallow saying it, but something like that can kind of really take me out of things and spoil my interest, so better to be safe than sorry. I don't want to waste any advancement. Maybe they made it so that those extra points carry over. I know in Morrowind they do not, and that's intensely frustrating. Oh, still enemies nearby. Could do that detect life thing. But mana is precious, so if I can avoid it. Come on, just let me take a nap. Alright, let's try... Wait, I don't have the spell? What is... Okay, this is... project... Okay. This is self. I think that's all. That's touch, and that's projectile. Okay. It's got pretty short range on it. I mean 60, but it's only 10 seconds, and I don't see anybody nearby. Maybe it's counting that the nearby interior has... Oh, okay. Maybe it was a deer or a wolf wandering around. There we go! Okay, holy crap. Alright. Well, I feel like we absolutely need to choose those two. And... regenerate magicka doesn't help me. Fatigue I have. Yeah, I think strength's going to be a choice. Okay, I was worried. Alright. So, alright, let's get back in there and engage those treasure senses. Treasure senses. Okay, still sneaking. Gary's got to keep it on the DL. I should try repairing this thing again. I wonder if that'll increase Gary's strength. I bet it will. I bet it will. I think I already... Yep. These bandits are very political. Somebody in there said she was so happy to see somebody that she could burst. I wonder if maybe they're not bandits. Maybe they're just like homeless, you know? You know? Maybe they're just trying to like defend this place that, you know, they could never, you know, find a place in the cities. Maybe they're just not accepted by society, and I'm coming up in their house. Oh, never mind. They live with ghosts. Oh wait, that's not a ghost. I am significantly outnumbered. Are they fighting each other now? I heard somebody get hit. I don't want a fight. I mean, I'm kind of empathizing with you guys now. Gary doesn't have a home either. Oh. Alright. Now you done did it. Now you done did it. See? We could have sat and talked, shared an ale.
Show me what you've got.
Garry absorbed your piddly magical talents.
Yeah.
Are you using an awl? How do you fight with an awl? An ice pick. Oh my goodness. You're not pretty enough to use an ice pick to kill people. Only 80s kids will get this reference. I hate when people do that. No, that's from Basic Instinct. That was a weird movie. I don't know why my mom let me watch that movie. Oh man, no. An iron tanto. That might be a backup weapon. It only weighs 2, and it does almost as much damage as my daikatana. I think it does 3. Yeah, we'll check that now that I've repaired it. 5. Okay. Yeah. Crescent dagger old. Oh. I thought my phone was going off. I don't know what my life is. Oh, they totally see me. Yeah. Okay, well, we gotta get that over with.
Yeah.
Well, you ran, didn't you?
Yeah. Ooh.
Garry flings himself at you. Corallium nail? I'm curious. Dang it, Garry. Garry. Another ice pick. Man, at least she looks more like the character from Basic Instinct, I guess, but so many ice picks. What kind of archer wears an iron cuirass? Let's see what this nail is about. Just looks like an iron dagger. Like a wrench that somebody sharpened. Not using a wrench. Garry, get rid of that. Now this pan, though. I can't wait to hit somebody with this pan. When we find the leader of this group, we're going to whack him in the face with the pan at least one time. Probably when he's close to dead, just to make sure we don't do anything embarrassing. Like have to save scum. Man, I bet just walking in here... Aw, there's no leader. We killed them all. Let's make sure of that. Yeah, wait. Yeah, I think I just didn't get close enough to the edge of those. There's a hard line over those. It's not like over here where it's a thin line. That's a hard line. So we're just going to turn around and mosey on towards coral. And what is it? 4? Yeah. Garry's got to train his restoration skills. Maybe not. Maybe Garry should do alchemy. Not worry about restoration. Garry did forget which way he was going, though. Okay, yeah, so up to the road, and then west. We're almost there, actually. We're like super close to coral. By super close, I mean like 2/3 of the way, but whatever. You know, it's not worth judging over the distance. Not that anybody would judge. I guess a lot of people judge distances, right? It's just contextually different than judging other things. That's something to think on, right? Like, what types of judgment are socially acceptable versus which types aren't, right? Because, you know, there are people that are like, I try not to judge, and maybe like people who take that too far, they just never want to be uncertain of anything. Maybe that's where that comes from, like a fear of uncertainty, and you just excise that by refusing to decide on something. And I can see the merits to that with like not wanting to put your own, you know, your own subjective decision making on something. Like with a person, you don't want to, you know, be judgmental about them, but our brains are built on these like shortcuts and pattern making, and you know, in some cases overly predictory systems, right? So when you refuse to use part of that, I'm sure it has impact in other areas as well. Because at the root of things, we're just like these really complex we're these really complex what do they call it? The clockwork Turks, the mechanical Turk, right? Like these little machines that were built to do small tasks but look human while doing them, right? That's how these things do work. I guess they all just do restore fatigue and damage luck, which I don't want. Restore intelligence. Okay, so some of them do have good effects. All right. But yeah, we're all just like super complicated mechanical Turks. If a machine were complex enough to, you know, modify its own decision-making process. You know, move its own gears around and change the you know, ratios of mechanical energy moving around in the the gear system of the mind, right? Like, it wouldn't actually be mechanical energy, but just looking at the abstraction that we're building here, it would be yeah, it'd be like being able to, you know, like, do your own repairs. So humans are like that, and when machines can do that kind of thing, like not just repair themselves but make their own decisions on the state of their being, then I guess that's intelligence. You know, you're making self-determination. I guess I'm just treading that same ground that people have been talking about forever, just looking at it in a weird way. I guess weird. Well, weird for me. I've never thought about it in these contexts. So it's neat for me to think about, at least neat for me to talk about. But yeah, you know, self-determination is, I suppose, life. Like, I don't want to say freedom of choice, because then you get into all of these other, you know, weird things like predetermination, which I guess self-determination goes directly against anyway, but it just feels different. Like, think about the universe is in playback, like it's in read-only mode. I don't know, that's probably not a healthy line of thought. You better explain yourself.
This is a hold-up. Hand it over or die.
Oh, you have picked the wrong day, non-human, to mess with Garry.
Yeah.
Because Garry don't need none of this. Garry has had a rough day. Garry just got out of prison, crawled through a sewer, Shawshank Redemption style. And you are not taking this from Garry today.
Whoa.
Garry needs a small breather. Just wear yourself out, buddy. Yeah. Oh. You can dodge around Garry. Gary's just gonna swing wildly until you fall into his blade. Alright. We gotta stop getting into fights, Garry. Almost there, almost there, almost there. Heal on the way, Garry. Man, I can't wait until we get to do Oblivion gates. That's going to be super fun. That was my favorite part of playing before, because even with no textures, it looked pretty cool on the Oblivion side, and the interiors were small enough. Well, the exteriors were small enough that I got really good performance in the Oblivion gates, much better than what I had outside. Picking flowers. It's not as bad as it was in Skyrim. Well, I guess I should say it's definitely not as bad as it was. Oh, damn it. I never tell until I go to look down, and it makes me sick. I bet a lot of people, they get motion sickness when they're playing video games. It's the FOV that's doing it. I would bet that. Because it makes it feel like your head is 10 feet away whenever the FOV is narrow. And that I could definitely see being disorienting. Reminds me of a thing I read where virtual reality is... this might sound weird for anybody who's not into this kind of thing, but the idea is that virtual reality is sexist, which sounds just bizarre, right? But the reasoning behind it is that there is a trend in the way that the mind and eye process information that follows, I guess you can't call it gender, because gender is not like a physical thing, I guess, but like it follows your sex. Your women tend to look at like the spatial relationships between things to determine depth, and for men it's more about the shift in perspective between the eyes. So like the parallax between the left eye and the right eye is what men use, and women just interpret the space differently. Like that's the idea. I haven't done the research myself, but just reading about it, it was interesting, because virtual reality, the Oculus Rift, the Vive, the Gear, whatever you're wanting to look at as, you know, VR of the 2010s, that is all based on the parallax difference between your eyes. So a lot of women get headaches or motion sickness from playing VR games with modern technology. It doesn't affect all of them, naturally. I guess you can't say anything 100% about you know, brain chemistry and neurological, whatever you want to call it. You just can't be completely certain about those things. But the trend is that women have a problem with VR because of the way it works. So that's what this lady was using to support her argument that VR is sexist, which is really cool to think about. Like, what if the experience for both sexes could be improved in VR by using both technologies, and you just give it like a profile of yourself, or a diagnostic you run when you first start using VR, and that's how it determines how to use it. Because, like, I'm sure that your brain uses both methods. Well, I shouldn't say I'm sure, but I stole all their food. I hope winter isn't coming. Where was I? But yeah, I'm sure your brain uses both types, because it seems like it would be wasteful to maintain this other inferior, like, I'm not saying either method is inferior, but if one method was dominant, like if it was empirically better, then the lesser used method would have been evolved away, right? It wouldn't be a thing that we have anymore. So both methods are probably in use in like different proportions for everybody, and the people that just tend towards a middle ground, or tend to use the referential method rather than the parallax method, would probably have a much better experience in VR. And even people who don't use it would probably have the experience at least somewhat enhanced. It would give it more of an immersion, I suppose. But I guess to do the depth or spatial relational type of VR, you would need to find some way to have screens that actually displayed things in 3D per eye. So you'd have to have, like, I've arrived at Wayne and Priory. So you'd have to have things like Disney used to use this neat technology where for their 2D animation they would have a camera set up, and the camera would be like on top of this 10-foot tall tower pointing down at the ground, and in the tower at various points they would have animation cells, you know, transparent except for what was drawn on them, and they would layer them up so that the camera could move into the scene by having the levels on the tower move around based on, you know, where the perspective needs to go. So if you could have like transparent displays that, you know, stack them up like, you know, 3 or 4 deep, or have it so that you could, you know, pivot the distance between them. All right, I'm going to make a proper save here. We're going to do a new one because I don't want to overwrite that in case we need to make another character. I'll save over this one. Gary's fine. He doesn't need to go back there. So having like a 3D screen that doesn't rely on stereoscopic vision, right? That would be one way to... Oh, that's stealing. But Gary doesn't get along with the gods, so Gary's not going to pray. And Gary's not going to look at the roof right now. So, yeah, that would be really cool. Like, if you could pick up depth by just moving your eye around inside a VR helmet, just one eye, that would be I think that would enhance my experience, and I'm a dude that doesn't have any problems with VR as it currently exists. It would be pretty neat.
Excuse me, can I help you? Are you looking for Prior Maberel or Joffrey?
Yes.
I think he's sleeping, but it must be important. Go ahead upstairs and wake him.
Thank you. Can I have this bread? No. Can I have that? Can I read that? Probably not. Looks like he's reading it. I'll leave it alone. Shh. Shh. Oh, shit. Shh. I don't want to be unlawful.
I'm Brother Joffrey. What do you want? This cannot be. No one but the Emperor is permitted to handle the amulet. Let me see it. By the Nine! This is the Amulet of Kings.
That's
Who
what I
are
said.
you? How did you get this? What do you know of the Emperor's death?
I guess I'm gonna...
As unlikely
tell
as
you
your story sounds, I
happened.
believe you. Only the strange destiny of Uriel Septim could have brought you to me carrying the Amulet of Kings.
Sorry, had to handle texts from my wife. Didn't want her to get upset with me for not responding.
His meaning is unclear to me as well. The Emperor seemed to perceive some threat from the demonic world of Oblivion. The Prince of Destruction, Mehrunes Dagon, is one of the Lords of Oblivion. But the mortal world is protected from the Daedra of Oblivion by magical barriers.
Think so?
I'm not sure. Only the Emperors truly understand the meaning behind the rituals of coronation. The Amulet of Kings is ancient. Saint Alicia herself received it from the gods. It is a holy relic of great power. When an emperor is crowned, he uses the amulet to light the dragon fires at the Temple of the One in the imperial city. With the emperor dead and no new heir crowned, the dragon fires in the temple will be dark, for the first time in centuries. It may be that the dragon fires protected us from a threat that only the emperor was aware of. I am one of the few who know of his existence. Many years ago I served as captain of Uriel's bodyguards, the Blades. One night Uriel called me into his private chambers. A baby boy lay sleeping in a basket. Uriel told me to deliver him somewhere safe. He never told me anything else about the baby, but I knew it was his son. From time to time he would ask about the child's progress. Now it seems that this illegitimate son is the heir to the Septim throne, if he yet lives. His name is Martin. He serves Akatosh in the chapel in the city of Kvatch, south of here. You must go to Kvatch and find him at once. If the enemy is aware of his existence, as seems likely, he is in terrible danger. And please, let me know if there's anything you need. My resources here are limited, but I will help in any way I can. I keep a few things here in my chest to resupply traveling blades. Help yourself to whatever you need.
Open. Open. Yeah. Alright, I need another sword, dude. I'm also gonna take these things. All of these things. And is that rough leather? Yeah, it is rough leather. We'll put that back in there for these guys. And we'll give them these things too. I won't be needing those. And I'm gonna take these things. And this thing, and both of those. You guys can have that back, and these two. See, I'm so nice. And I'm never gonna wear those or that. Could probably sell all these things, but whatever. Garry would do this. Swap out everybody's good stuff for crap. And not say, oh, Garry got naked in front of the old man. That's inappropriate. Garry. Garry has 2 swords. I'm satisfied. Need to find one of those Aliad wells. Alright. He said his name was Martin and he was at Kavach. Yeah, I don't need to do a regular save. Alright, so before we go start looking for Martin, I'm going to go ahead and just end this here. Probably going to stop recording for a little while. My sister-in-law is supposed to be dropping off a car in a little bit. So yeah, see you all in a bit.